Okay, so I want you to imagine a uh, a really pristine piece of hunting land. Now, this week, 5 hunters get access to it.
Right.
The next week, it's three totally different hunters. 2 weeks after that, four more show up. And then another group of three. Just constant
A
pressure.
revolving door.
Exactly, a revolving door. So stop and think about that for a second. It's that kind of chaotic, high-volume rotation. I mean, what does that do to the land?
And to the wildlife.
Yes, to the wildlife that calls it home and, ultimately to the experience for every single hunter involved. The answer we found in our sources today is, well, it creates unsustainable chaos. Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is to take what might seem like a really niche topic setting maximum hunter limits on hunting leases and show you that it's actually about these much larger concepts.
Yeah, we're talking about sustainable conservation and proper wildlife management.
The core idea we're unpacking is actually pretty straightforward. True hunters are conservationists. And the key to pairing that whole mindset with long-term land health is applying these crucial, professionally determined hunter limits.
And we're going to be looking at two really different models for this.
Right. The short-term leases, which, often just ignore limits to chase profit, and then the annual long-term leases, which are actually designed to implement them the right way.
And that's really where the whole conversation has to start. For a lot of people, leasing land might just sound like, I don't know, a basic real estate deal, like renting a cabin for the weekend.
Sure.
But the sources we looked at treat it as an essential conservation tool. If you manage it poorly, if you have no limits, it can be just devastating to the local ecosystem. But
Yeah.
if it's done right, it can ensure the health of that wildlife for decades.
Okay, so let's unpack that term you just used, the hunter conservationist, because that feels like the foundation for this whole argument.
Yeah.
What exactly does the source material mean by that, and how do limits fit into that identity?
What's really fascinating here is how the sources frame this. It's relational, not transactional.
Relational. Yeah.
Yeah. When we talk about a hunter conservationist, we're talking about someone who develops a real long-term invested relationship with a specific piece of land. They actually care about its health next year and the year after that.
So they have skin in the game long term.
Exactly. And when you pair that long-term connection with good management, the result is what the sources call great things for wildlife health and population stability.
And that relational approach, it stands in pretty stark contrast to the two leasing models you mentioned earlier. We're talking about what our source material literally calls the Airbnbs of hunting land, the short-term lease.
Yes. And that's a perfect analogy because that short-term model is almost exclusively focused on maximizing immediate revenue. Per weekend, per week.
Just getting bodies on the property.
Right. And the criticism in the sources is blunt. Because these rentals prioritize transaction volume, they